Very much those spreaders can make massive differences when you're trailing or just make a lead insurmountable. But either way, the countdown has been given. We should be underway momentarily. Race number one between Burgundy and Lucha Jim. Let's see if the wrestling fan or the Mexican wrestler from Australia are going to get it done.
Total carnage. I love it.
Both get their razor shield and they are underway with a slight pause to get them lined up time-wise. Both using the covering the right door early. Now both back to the middle.
Yeah, Smart Bomb in a bit of a frustrating spot for Lucha there. Couldn't really stay in the middle too much, but is making some really efficient firing and is going to get out at about a 41.
Very solid opener there. It's going to be a little slower for Ferran. It's actually a 40 there.
Actually, wow. A 40, yeah.
Very nice for Lucha. Burgundy will be more at a 45, so definite advantage. Let's see if Burgundy can get some drops early to help make up some of that time. Lucha's first drop is grenades in the middle. That's just gross.
Yep, very inoptimal, cutting down your range. First drop's a razor shield for Fearonburgundy, so that is not a bad drop to get at all.
More nades for Lucha and another foot, so it's gone grenade, foot, grenade, foot. What a classic opener.
Meanwhile, Ferran has gone razor shield, invulnerability, and now grenades, which he is wisely going to ignore.
I like this move by Lucha. Use the nuke, clean up those shrapnels, and see if the next drop maybe won't be junk.
Yeah, Ferran loses the razor shield finally, but gets another invulnerability, and that is going to clear the shrapnels out. Pretty good use of the invulnerability here.
You can see what efficient fire can do for you. Despite the drops favoring Ferran, Lucha maintains the lead.
Yeah, but it's not as big of a lead as it was after the first room. Ferran getting pinned in the corner here, and that swirl still alive, barely makes it to those rockets to try and get the room under control.
Great grab, gets the razor shield, does a smart thing, just backs off for a half second. You don't got to rush in there. You got rockets. It's got time.
Yeah, Ferran, a very patient approach here, using the razor shield to take care of the swarmers and the rockets to take care of the shrappies. And now an orb for Ferran. Very great to have that and keep it going into the next room. More rockets for Ferran, so now he can fire a little more willy-nilly.
And look at that. The drops have horribly favored Burgundy thus far, and he has taken the lead into Total Carnage.
Ferran ahead and set up real nicely for Total Carnage here. Lucha needs to get something going here. Razor shield for both players.
And now an orb for Lucha, so he's got to be relieved. Almost walked into the
Almost walked into that shrapnel, but he saw it, Bri. He saw it, and he did a little kind of toe drag and just deked out of the way.
Just kept the play on side and gets to keep going. I like it. Good grab by Burgundy. Saw that there was a mine there and came up from the angle to get the rockets. Nicely done.
Yeah, Ferran playing quite well here inside of Total Carnage. I know he's written himself off, but I think he's a lot better than he tends to give himself credit for, Bri.
Regardless of that, things carry on here, and I'm having some issues again. Apologies.
Ferran hiding in the corner now, a little uncomfortable with being in the center of this room, it seems, so that will allow Lucha to pull ahead here, but Ferran almost done the room here.
Working hard, but he's also, I think, weary of that swirl, but unless I showed up when I was having my difficulties, he's not that far back, and he's coming in with a spreader.
No, there was no swirl for Fearonburgundy inside Total Carnage. He got out in a pretty reasonable, about $1.15 or so in that room.
He got it done, and it is a solid lead for Lucha, but nothing coming in. What's the first drop? It's rockets. Fantastic.
That is the perfect opening drop when you have that orb. Get rid of those gunners, control the center, and just focus on your fire. Loses the orb, unfortunately, but rockets is a very good replacement drop. Honestly, if you can get nothing but rockets in this room, Bri, you don't need the orb.
Burgundy went too close to the bottom door, lost the orb, and then his life. Gets
rockets for Ferran, though, and he's going to use that to take out the remaining gunner. Lucha just trying to get something here, stuck to the pea shooter and a foot right now. Invulnerability for Ferran will help, and now a spreader.
There's nothing worse. Oh, he gets picked up trying to go for that razor shield. There's nothing worse than having no weapon and the tank comes in covered by enemies. You can't get rid of it before it shoots.
Ferran picked up an orb and was going to play the corner strats, but got picked off by a shrapnel just as he got to his preferred location, Bry.
And all told, Lucha gets it done there in 4:58. Meanwhile, Burgundy trying to get to that razor shield. Fighting desperately. Can he get to it? Does get to it. Can he stay alive? So far, so good.
He fought his way through it. He dodged the bullet. This is the end of the room here. Ferran, perhaps not recognizing the situation, does not elect to pick up the nuke there. That could have saved him a good 6 seconds or so, Bry.
Well, he's 16 seconds back into Mutoid Man's room here. Oh, Lucha gets sniped. Will Lucha be able to get to that? Mutoid Man blocks it. Has he even
He's 16 seconds behind Bry, but Lucha hasn't done any damage yet.
Spreader here for Burgundy. Was thinking about manualing, but it's so difficult when the two gunners are attached.
Yeah, those gunners are going to definitely pose problems for our runners here. Lucha's gunners are gone. Ferran's are stuck at the bottom, so he's going to have to worry about dodging their fire until he gets into a position where he can take care of them.
Gets sniped again. He's hoping for a quick spreader drop right now.
That would be the dream, Bry. More rockets for Lucha, so not getting the primo weapons in Mutoid Man so far. A couple lobbers for Ferran here. He's just trying to get rid of the gunners, but he's a little too far away from the bottom of the hitbox.
But he was actually landing a lot of double damage shots right down the middle of Mutoid Man, so that kind of worked out.
Yeah, you take the good with the bad, I suppose. Both arms gone for both players. Ferran still has a gunner to worry about, but now with this invulnerability, that gunner is gone. So it's going to come down to who gets the drops and who executes here. Small advantage for Lucha Jim onto the third form. Ferran trying to hit that spot. Mutoid being a little unpleasant with his movement there, and Ferran's going to take a death pinned in the corner.
And now Ferran's going to get blocked from the grenades. Mutoid Man really not playing nice with our competitors.
Definitely not Bry. Penultimate form for Lucha. The head is popped. Ferran in a good spot, was landing some good lobber shots. Maybe picked up those rockets on accident. Another lobber for Lucha, trying to find that sweet spot. Head pops for Ferran. Final form for Lucha.
Empty drop Burgundy would need a spreader right now. It's a lobber. It's not a bad one, but he's in trouble here. No spreaders for our competitors here. Unbelievable.
Empty drop for Lucha, but he's got plenty of lobbers left in the tank there. There's some rockets. If he can get those, that will be enough ammunition. He walks into the mine. Final form for Ferran. Outside chance Ferran could still take this.
But that lobber should do it here. Indeed, it does. Game number 1 is going to Lucha Jim. But man, this one got really close. Look at that, a spreader in a prime spot on the final floor.
Yeah, just a little too late for those spreaders. Ferran got one of those earlier, be a much closer finish here, but really, really close match up until at least the final form here. Ferran having just a little bit of difficulty closing it out, but now he does.
What a close opener here. Lucha probably breathing a sigh of relief, and Burgundy's going to lose a few more seconds to dying to Mutoid Man as he's exploding.
Out of lives, not the time to take the death celebration there, but the race already over, so not the worst thing that could happen. If that cost Ferran a race, I don't know how I would feel about that, Bry.
Well, we've only ever seen one race in the entire history of this tournament where somebody died after killing Mutoid Man and it cost them a race. So it can't happen. It happened last year, actually. But either way, we're gonna get them ready up here for race number 2. Not gonna take the bait on that, by the way. You're not gonna mention 40 Watt by name. Okay.
He doesn't deserve a name.
That's so meanly accurate. So they've been asked to ready up when they're ready. I'll give them the countdown in just a few moments, and we will get them underway for game number 2. You got to think Lucha will have a better run this time, so Burgundy have to tighten up a few things to stay in pace.
I think Burgundy actually was playing quite well until tank trouble or so. Ferran just doing everything right early on in the race at the very least, and tank trouble, of course, a very difficult room, even compared to most of the remaining rooms in the game in Arenas 2 and 3.
Yeah, he did pretty well. Tank trouble did give him some issues. and he took a few deaths in Mutoid Man that really cost him. But he wasn't that far out of that one the whole way. Switched the lead a few times. Just needs to get a little more confident in the middle to really help that time come down consistently. Either way, we are underway. Race number 2 in this elimination match. This is our first of the second chance bracket head-to-head. We'll be scheduling more of these very soon, so be sure to follow GG_speedruns. And by the way, thank you to GoGo Zombie for subscribing at a tier 1 here to GG Speedruns. Appreciate it.
We certainly do, Bry, and if anyone else wants to subscribe, you are more than welcome to as well. Fearon sabotage with grenades early on in the room. Smart bomb in the middle. He's gonna grab it. Is that the end? No, not quite.
Great nuke for Lucha Jim there. Saw the score was getting close to where he needed it, got it done, gets a solid lead, probably about 8 seconds or so.
Yeah, drops just not doing any favors for Fearon there. Grenades on the feet and then taking a gamble on the nuke, but missing it by just a couple swarmers.
We got a razor shield and then a foot for Lucha. Not a bad combo. A spreader here for Burgundy.
And another spreader for Burgundy here. That will at least keep the swarmers coming into the room, so not a bad weapon.
Shield.
Nice dodge from Fearon there. Almost walked right into a shrapnel, but did a little tiny pause and is rewarded with an orb.
And a great rocket drop for Lucha. This will help clean up Eat My Shrapnel right at the end of collect power-ups. Very nice.
Yeah, Fearon just finishing up here. Fearon focusing maybe a little too much on the shrapnel enemies in this room. You really have to keep those swarmers under control. The shrapnels do not matter in collect power-ups.
And with the spreader can clean up all the swarmers, just has to watch out for that swirl that gave him so much trouble last time.
Not pinned into the corner this time, and with orb in tow, Fearon looking good, but no! Loses the orb! Rockets, though, for Lucha Jim, so Lucha looking like they're in a good spot to clear this room out.
A good little escape there from Fearon, but these shrapnels have been on screen too long. He is bleeding time right now.
Fearon needs to get things under control and fast. He's got that orb, but those swarmers are just bullying him in the center, Bry.
Hate to see it. Rockets, though, will set him up all right here. And more rockets, so he's just trying to use diagonal fire, get it done. Try to save the rockets. This should be it, probably. Yeah, this is it. But he's going to have to try to really tighten it up here. Lucha seen an orb yet?
Lucha has not seen an orb yet, no. So, well, there's the orb for Lucha. Fearon still with a few rockets left here. Now, this is the test for Fearon here. You'll see that he likes to employ the safer strategy of taking the corner, but the middle is where the speed is. Just need the confidence for your fire to keep you in the middle when you have that orb.
The thing with the corner strats, it's fine provided they keep coming up the 2 doors near you, but that doesn't hold up forever. Pretty great room here for Lucha Jim.
Yeah, great room. Is going to exit at 310. Very, very good time for a newer runner.
Rockets for Burgundy and more rockets for Burgundy. Definitely can hold it down with that. As we've said many times, honestly better than the orb if you can get those non-stop.
Exactly, Bry. Rockets are the primo drop, at least in rooms filled with swarmers.
So with that underway here, should be Burgundy nearing the end of the room as tank trouble is going to begin for Lucha Jim. This lead is quite massive. Rockets at the bottom. Does he see them? Trying to get to them. Good job.
Yeah, he did eventually go there. I guess just really wanted to get that first gunner out of the way first. Loses the orb in the ensuing chaos where all the shrapnels exploded, but not his life, Bry. Unfortunate for Fearon, that shrapnel exploding right at the end of the room to just cost him a little bit more time. Fearon has his work cut out for him here in game number 2, Bry.
Absolutely. This is a little closer to what we figured might happen, but I do have to say, for Fearon, still sub 4 into the bonus room. His average is above that, so he's still punching pretty well here, all told.
Yeah, the improvement from Fearon, definitely noticeable here. You know that if he just applied himself to this a little bit more, I think he could be right in the middle of the, 630 crew with a bit of practice.
Absolutely. So 434 into Mutoid Man. Lucha Jim has a shot at a PB, but will probably need 2 solid spreader drops to get it done.
Yeah, chasing a 6'10", so definitely need some help there. That spreader is nice, but on the wrong side of the room. At least at the start, you do have a free avenue to get about a half form of damage in with the spreader without Mutoid vibrating into you.
And a good job there. And going for the death here. Will Mutoid allow this is the question. Which way is he going to go? Doesn't even move and blocks it up.
And well, he started moving as soon as Lucha picked his side. He might actually make this. He died as it appeared on screen. It's going to be close. He gets it.
And Mutoid even moved with him, so he can probably get both arms there if he's accurate, but gets picked off. Is that an invulnerability or grenades? It's an invulnerability.
Invulnerability. And those gunners, the big danger here for Lucha right now. These grenades should help get rid of them as long as he doesn't get shot. He gets zapped, but at least the gunners are gone. Fearon entering the boss room now. There's going to be about a 4.5 lead all said. There are 2 forms whenever Fearon gets underway.
61-second gap by time coming in, but still kind of hanging around here. This one is not over despite that massive gap the whole way here.
Fearon gets pinned in the corner by the swirl, but is able to fight it off, and his reward is Mutoid parking on whatever that poor drop was.
Looked like a lobber from what I could see, so would have been nice to get it, that's for sure. Now an invulnerability, so mean. Head pop off for Lucha.
Yep, Lucha is comfortably ahead. A spreader with the invulnerability, but sabotaged with grenades!
Unbelievably mean here, game. Come on.
Fearon already a full minute behind, and the game is giving him the exact opposite of help, Bry.
Well, it is what it is, and sometimes the game doesn't want you to have any fun. Final form for Lucha, pounding away with lobber shots. Gonna grab that key to force another weapon drop. Burgundy pounding away with lobber shots. Lucha, clip running low, but gets it done. It will be a sub-7. Getting out of here, going up 2-0 in this matchup.
A good run for Lucha for sure, Bry. Fearon just not getting any help drop-wise early on in this boss, but he did make a pretty decent manual attempt early, and some good lobber fire does have him on to the third form, the form where the chest is popped.
A form of some variety, yes. Unfortunately, grenades and then followed up by a key. That's pretty gross.
Keys are not weapons, unfortunately.
He does.
He recognizes it.
Can he get it?
Mutoid's gonna block it.
He might have got it if he'd walked straight up and then cut right. If Mutoid's rolling at you, you don't want to run into him because he'll start pushing you back. It would have been a tough grab either way, though.
It was a really bold play from Fearon. I loved it, but just didn't work. This one, don't you dare park on that Mutoid, man. Get out of the way.
Oh my goodness. What are the things tonight? The things tonight are you don't get orbs early. Mutoid Man's gonna block you from any weapon after you die. Those are the memes tonight, apparently.
The memes indeed, Bry. Fearon trying to replenish his ammo with those grenades, but Mutoid is just gonna run right into him. Really, really impolite movement from Mutoid Man tonight.
He has been a bit of a donkey, to put it lightly. Not friendly whatsoever.
Good movement from Fearon to avoid taking a death, but sadly not going to reach the lobbers in time. But this spreader should be the silver bullet necessary to put Mutoid out of his misery.
Indeed, that'll get it done. About an 8:39 coming up here for Fearon. 2-0 Lucha Jim. Burgundy up against the wall here and might be our first unofficial or our last place placement, but anyone who loses in the first round of the second chance all ties anyway. So you know. So with that said, why don't you run down the schedule for tomorrow night one more time, Jack? I am going to get them set up for race number 3.
Absolutely, Bryself. So stick around, folks. We are not quite done with this matchup yet between Lucha Jim and Fearonburgundy. Tomorrow we have 4 games on schedule coming your way at 7 Eastern, starting with Chex 42 versus Lick Arcade, followed by 40 Watt Range versus Drex 23. After that, we have Ares Fire Tiger versus Seawalker 777s, and the final match of the night, a grudge match, a rematch from last year, Mr. Entity versus Prince Leaf.
Didn't realize that when I set it up, but I did go back and look after the fact that indeed, a rematch to see how we do. Prince Leaf ranked 4th on the seedings. Has been saying that the game's not been real kind lately, but has dropped a sub 6 or 2. So definite advantage to Leaf. Let's see what Entity has in store, who hasn't played a whole lot since last year's tournament.
At least on stream, I have heard from some of our inside reporters that he's been putting in some reps offline, so who knows what he might bring to the table.
And by inside reporters, you mean you, since you're friends?
We call ourselves that anyway.
I don't know why he's friends with you, but you know, it's charity, I assume. Maybe a tax break. Either way, guys, they're ready. I'm gonna get them underway before Jack, chokes me through the internet from another province. One moment.
My reach is long and violent. As we just about get underway for Game 3, feel free to make any predictions in the chat. Is this the last game for Ferran? Or can Ferran get the drops that he needs to make this competitive and maybe steal a game? Let us know your thoughts as we get underway now.
I have to say, I think it's going to finish in a sweep here, but not for a lack of trying. Ferran's improvement over the last couple weeks has been noticeable, but Lucha's really been coming on strong. Let's see, they both get that Razor Shield as you'd expect, and now it's just time to avoid getting in trouble.
Yeah, Lucha able to sneak in, picking up a foot on the second drop there. Not able to go by score here, has picked up some money, as you can see by that 10 in the digit, so unsure if to play the Smart Bomb or not.
Well, the fun fact is, if you pick up a prize like that, all you need to do is, if you can do the math quickly enough, you get 5,010 for picking up a prize. So that's how you can tell. He actually got the minimum spawn rate based on that, or sorry, 1 over the minimum spawn rate.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ferran getting 6 over the minimum. Just to take another second off of him here.
Rockets for Ferran, and as you said, that Razor Shield, pretty nice there.
Absolutely. Smart Bomb in the middle for Ferran, and I think taking it, probably the right choice, just to get situated. You got rockets, you're going to be good. Even more rockets for Ferran now. He could be out of here with a really nice time.
It's actually, I would wager, suggested when you have rockets on board. It'll get a new drop to fall while you can use those rockets to keep cleaning up the room. Very solid room here for Lucha Jim, a 126.
Yeah, well played with the Razor Shield, picks up an orb, leaves with a little bit of spreader ammo to take out those grunts. Ferran, just a few swarmers left here, and he's going to be out of the room. A little behind Lucha so far, and really needs an orb to make the game of it. Lucha already set up with that.
He died trying to clear a path for himself, losing a little bit of rockets in the process, but hey, more rockets.
And now the all-important orb for Ferran here. He does need to hit some of those shrapnels, though. There were 4 on screen there.
Not getting the shrapnel numbers down is going to cost you here. It really hurt him in match number 2, and it's lining up again that way.
More rockets should help him here. But it's going to be Lucha first into total carnage at about 215.
So he would be in the hunt for about a 305 to a 310 if he can hold that orb and play it well. Meanwhile, Burgundy, and they're trying to keep the orb alive, does clean himself a pathway to safety. Into the corner he goes. Trying to hunt that spreader. Does get it.
A little dicey movement, but he does pick it up, and there's a replacement right there. So Ferran getting some drops to help him play the center here, maybe getting some confidence and can stay in there a little longer this time.
He's been in there for quite a chunk of time. Keeps getting spreaders, as you said, not a bad thing for the less experienced runners. It really helps you control the room and just blam the enemies out of the way.
Really good controlled fire here from Lucha, though, holding that center like a boss right now. A little dicey here, but is able to dodge around everything.
Razor Shield on the feet for Ferran. Now's the time to just stand there and fire at the 4 doors. Don't even need to move.
Don't need to move, no, Bri. It can affect the way your orb swings back and forth, but that is definitely something a newer, less experienced player should not be concerned with.
This has been a fantastic room for Ferran.
I think Ferran actually gained some time back in that room, Bri. Despite walking in, taking a death right away.
Oh, he didn't die right away. He kept his orb alive in that one. He died in the previous room. We're in.
Oh, yes, my mistake.
We're into tank trouble. That nuke's a good drop. Just get rid of the gunners now. And Lucha pretty much there. Just needs to land a few more shots. Another nuke. Can he get to it? Oh, he loses the orb.
Loses the orb going for it. You hate to see that, Bri. Now the room's just going to get, well, it's called tank trouble for a reason. And Lucha's in a bit of trouble now. Fearon, with some great shooting, is able to hold on to the orb and get rid of one of the turrets.
Finally loses the orb, but there was 2 or 3 spectacular orb saves there. Rockets, he will get these after he dies.
He will get those rockets. Take out that other gunner in the tank.
Get the gunner. Good job. I just don't like gunners, okay?
Lucha just gets a haircut by 3 bullets from the tank there.
A shrapnel kill on Fearon, but he'll get that razor shield. Just got to avoid the shrapnel while picking it up, and he does it.
Fearon's deaths at least coming at opportune times where he can pick up a very useful power-up in return.
Oh, Lucha almost got clubbed there. That was almost a disaster. But he's done the room first, and we'll be out at 4:48. There's an orb for Burgundy. Cleans out the swarmers as he comes up. Well done. And he's going to try to hold...
blocks a piece of shrapnel with the orb, unintentional though it may be. You always love seeing that.
Rockets to open for Lucha here on Mutoid. You love to see that as well. Just get rid of those gunners. And now a primo spreader.
That's what we want to see. Lucha is going to just go right ahead and pop those arms. Fearon's going to be into the boss room at about a 5:15. Really nice entry for him, Bri.
Absolutely. If you can get a bit of luck here, PB on the table. Lucha, meanwhile, if he gets another spreader, PB on the table as well. He can ignore that drop if he wants to. Chooses to get it, almost gets killed. Another empty drop.
Grab, but considering the next drop was a key, maybe the right play to force something to come. There's a spreader, but wisely knowing that too far away.
I am pretty confident that was.
I think that was orb damage from Fearon. Yes.
Well done.
There's a spreader in a beautiful location for Fearon. The head pops for Lucha. Can Fearon get it? Yes, he can. He's going to pound this into Mutoid, trying to get caught up here. It's going to be about the same opening. 2 arms gone for each off that initial spreader. So identical luck so far in Mutoid, man.
He gets another spreader here. There's a massive PB on the table.
If Fearon gets another spreader, he could PB by like a full minute right now.
Not quite that much, but it would be like 40-second plus for sure.
Final form for Lucha here. Barely able to pick up those grenades. Will this be enough? Lobber on the feet is a bit of sabotage in that situation, causing him to miss, but at least lots of ammo, and now some spreader ammo should finish this off. Head pops for Fearon at about 6:30. Huge chance for Fearon to get yet another PB in the tournament here. He is unfortunately eliminated, but PB very much on the table. You can do it, Fearon. Get that PB.
He's got to avoid the death here. Does he get a spreader? No, another empty drop. This is just heinous game. Give him a spreader.
The Lobber will at least get some damage in there. And he's hitting that sweet spot so he can get a little bit of bonus damage from it, but he is going to need another weapon clip after this Lobber to finish up Bri.
Might even need another one because he really had difficulty lining the shots up. Dies to a shrapnel.
He gets tagged by the shrapnel just as can he get it? He at least is able to recover and get it. Empty that Lobber in there. Gotta be accurate here. That's all you have to do to get that PB Fearon. He's going to pick up the spreader. This should be enough as long as those shots keep connecting. There it is.
Is it a PB? I'm trying to remember what his PB was the other night. Was it a 7.3x or a 7.4x?
It was a 7.44. Fearon has just PB'd by about 4 seconds.
GG's to Burgundy. It's a 7.40, it appears. It'll be reviewed once submitted, but if so, another PB back-to-back nights for Burgundy to lose, but back-to-back nights for PBs. You'll love to see it.